Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, our special edition of Fire Prevention Week. Mark Malekish has been here all week long, dishing out different fire safety tips, talking about different aspects of the fire department, and more importantly, some safety. We like talking safety on the show. I love talking
safety. We're going to do the good old-fashioned tips today, but it's been awesome. I love Fire Prevention Month because this is my time to shine.
I was hoping that I could be like in one of the fire trucks for this segment, but you know, we're working on that for next time.
Yep.
You owe me like a fire truck ride.
Done.
Yes. I'm never putting anybody on the spot for that, but here we go. So I asked you off camera, I said, you know, kind of where are we as far as some of the fires that have gone on or some of the calls that you've been taking in throughout the year. We kind of discussed a little bit, and still trending is the cooking fire. A lot of responses to cooking fires, and in general, if we're talking fire safety on the cooking fires, what's like the number one thing that you're seeing that's that's leading to, you know, a response to a cooking fire?
Sure. So yeah, cooking fires are nationally still the primary reason that fires get started in residential or commercial occupancies. As a general rule, what starts cooking fires or the reason that cooking fires get out of hand is because they're left unattended. People get distracted. They pick up their phone, they are watching the news, they've got little ones that they're dealing with, and they're cooking at the same time. So it's inattention to cooking really is the reason that fires get away from us. Because if we're standing there, that we're watching what's happening, and at first sign of something going bad, we're going to take care of it. We're going to turn the heat off, or we're going to put a cover on, whatever happens to be. But it's when we're dialed into something other than the cooking that it really has a chance to get away from us.
And if for whether you're in a multifamily apartment building down to the house, prevention should really work similar in fashion, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're going to do the same thing. There might be sprinklers in apartment building, different discussion point. But how should people deal with a cooking fire in general? I just know you have this like real cool prop that you're just waiting to bust out. So maybe not for this question, but
yeah. So first and foremost, if it's safe to do so, remove whatever it is from the heat. Remove the heat source. Either turn it off or remove the pot or pan, whatever it happens to be, right? And that's much easier to do, like I said, if you're standing right there paying attention to what you're cooking. So we're going to start with that always, is pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention. Beyond that, if you have any kind of a cooking area, hopefully you have a fire extinguisher nearby. And first and foremost, as we've learned, know where your fire extinguisher is.
I'm not saying nothing that it had nothing to do with this guy, but there may have been somebody on staff that just learned about where this location is.
So as long as we know where our fire extinguisher is, that's number one for getting to use it correctly. Number two, let me find my correct camera here. Aha, well, give me a go. On the front of every fire extinguisher is a set of instructions, but it's much easier than having the instructions to read, because in the time of a fire, who's going to do that? Mm-hmm. So what we want everybody to remember is PASS, P-A-S-S. It's an acronym. The P stands for pull. So you would pull this pin out from its resting place, because what the pin does is keeps it from accidentally going poof. Right?
That's a different story there, yeah.
Yeah. So pull the pin out. Next, you would aim the nozzle at wherever that fire happens to be. So that's the A in PASS. So pull the pin, aim the nozzle. The first S is squeeze. So you're going to squeeze these two handles together, which we'll be able to do because you pulled the pin, right? So you pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the handles.
Final S?
Final is you sweep from side to side. So if you can picture a campfire, you might have flames licking up this high, but the actual fire base is right down there at the logs. That's the fuel. So you want to sweep from side to side against that fuel. Don't worry about the flames that are licking up. They'll go away when you take care of the base. So pull, aim, squeeze, sweep all day long. That's how you use a fire extinguisher. It doesn't matter what kind of fire extinguisher it is. They all generally work the same. And if you forget,
The set of instructions right there on the front.
we do have instructions right there. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep.
And you can buy an extinguisher at a local hardware store up to your favorite box, whatever. You can find these pretty easily. So don't fret on like, well, Mark, how am I going to get a fire extinguisher in my house?
Yeah, actually, I can tell you that the big retailers recognize that Fire Prevention Month is upon us, and they will run specials on fire extinguishers, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms. Anything fire prevention related is going to be on sale in the month of October. So if that's something that you were thinking you should do, October is a great time to do it. I'll also say this, if you have that hard to buy for person who has one of everything, I'll bet you they don't have too many fire extinguishers in their house.
Yeah, you can't ask. So, there's a good question to ask at the fire open house. How many fire extinguishers should I have in my house?
Yeah, and do you know where they are? But Christmas is coming up. So just a helpful tip from a fire geek to you.
Well, I would have never guessed during our fire prevention meet that we would be talking about the holidays and getting you ready for purchasing. But you mentioned about the smoke detectors, which is the next area that I go to. Having a working smoke detector, super important for so many different reasons. But just kind of backing up just a little bit, the smoke detector, it saves lives, period, right? Like,
Absolutely.
Is there any discussionary point that doesn't point to that it's...
There's literally no discussion about that. It has been proven in study after study. Working smoke alarms save lives. That's all there is to it. And what they do is they're sort of always looking for particulate in the air because that's what smoke is. So they're always looking for something in the air that looks like smoke. And when they sound their alert, the best reaction is to not go try and fan it away. The best reaction is to evacuate. If you have smoke in your home or in your apartment or wherever it is, get out and stay out. Find a place outside and stay out. If that's really all there is to it. I don't know how to add on to that.
It's pretty straightforward, right? So that being said, the working smoke detector. So a lot of people have smoke detectors in their house. It's sort of one of those, I'm taking assumption here because I'm guilty of this myself, is you put it up and you leave it be and it's just there. You're like, all right, we're good to go, and never look back.
To a degree, sure. But manufacturers' recommendations will always tell you to push the button once a month just to make sure that it beeps back at you.
I asked you this the last time I did an interview with you. How many times, when should you check it?
Monthly.
One more time, was it?
Monthly. Absolutely.
So it's not just at the fall and, when we move our clocks back and stuff?
No, we've got it in our brains that's when we change the batteries. So if you have replaceable batteries, then at the clock change or the time change is a great time to change the battery. But monthly, you can go and you can tickle that smoke alarm all you want, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and it'll be quiet right after you're done.
And then placement. Where should we have these placed once we know it's working?
Yeah, placement's critical. First and foremost, if you have a common hallway that has bedrooms near it, that's the perfect place for a smoke alarm. Even better if you can afford to put them inside the bedrooms. Each level of the home should certainly have one. The places that will give your smoke alarms false readings or false alarms is near the kitchen. So maybe you're boiling noodles, or you're making noodles, and steam comes up. The smoke alarm doesn't recognize the difference between steam and smoke. It thinks they're the same thing. So you'll get false alarms. So if that's happening when you're cooking, then there's a better place to put your smoke alarm. Another place is in some bathrooms, they don't ventilate well. So if you take a nice hot steamy shower and then you open up the door, if that smoke alarm is right outside the door of the bathroom, you're going to get false alarms. And again, that's another chance to move it to a place where it'll be more efficient and do its job. And I'm always happy to help with that if somebody runs into any of those questions.
And then on the manufacturer piece too, there is a life to a smoke detector, right? Like, it is not buy one and it works forever.
Right.
Period.
So generally 10 years from manufacturer's date. I don't have one with me, but if you turn it over on the bottom side, it'll show a date where it was manufactured. So 10 years from that date. In most of them will have a space where you can actually write when you install it to make it much easier to know when to take it down. For some of those who live in older houses, if the plastic on the smoke alarm looks yellowed, cure it.
When I moved to my house, they were all yellow, Mark.
Yeah, no, same with my house when I moved in and I replaced all of them.
Yeah.
But if it's starting to look like it's yellowed, it's way past its 10 years.
And then just quickly, we do have a lot of multifamily housing here, apartment buildings, duplexes, condos. In those, if the smoke detector goes off or doesn't go off, would you recommend people pulling the alarm? So if you do notice a fire, maybe the smoke detector hasn't gone off, would you say pull the alarm on the way out to ensure that everybody gets out? Like, if that's an option, what's the advice on that front?
I would say this is an opportunity to go complete geek mode on code stuff.
Oh, I'm open this wide open for you.
Yeah, you kick the door open. Inside of your apartment or home, if that smoke alarm goes off, try to find why. Right? Is it because of the shower? Is it because of cooking? Or is it because there's a fire? If it's because of a fire, then absolutely exit your apartment, close the door behind you because that's a whole thing, and it will stop fire for a very long time. And then, because you live in an apartment, you really want to alert all of the other people who live in that apartment as to what's happening. There's a fire, right? That's when you pull the fire alarm. So, again, the smoke alarms within the apartments generally work independently of the fire alarm system. So if you live in a big multifamily structure and you have a fire in your apartment, get out of the apartment, close the door, then pull the pull station near the stairwell. And that allows everybody else in the building the same heads up that something bad is happening that you have. So I hope that answers the question appropriately, but
100%. I think some people might think that just because it goes off in your apartment, it may alert everybody, and that might not be the case at every place.
Yeah, not necessarily. There are some buildings based on level of care received that the building may be set up that way. But as a general rule, inside of your apartment, that's a standalone detector, just like we have in our hallways in our single-family homes.
All right, Mark, I appreciate it. If anybody has any questions about the stuff we talked about today, there's some great resources on the website, fitchfordwi.gov/fire. But you can always reach out to anybody on the department, including yourself. You guys are willing and able to answer all the questions you could ever ask.
Specifically me, but if you see firefighters out on the street or in the neighborhood, ask them whatever questions on your mind.
All right, Mark, thank you. I appreciate the time as always.
You betcha.